Look, it is year 2 for Davis Mills, right? And the question is do the Houston Texans believe in them? Because when you look at the fan side of it, it is torn. You have one side who don't believe in him, who think the Houston Texans should definitely take a QB in this draft, or should just see if Davis Mills fail, or is kind of waiting for Davis Mills to fail this year so they could take a CJ Stroud next year. And the amount of good QBs that will be available next year, it's absolutely a lot. So the pressure is on for Davis Mills, right? You have the one side where I am on, where I think he can potentially be a franchise quarterback. I'm not calling him that just yet, but he definitely showed growth throughout his rookie season. I love the fact that he's going to be under Pep Hamilton a second year. And that's why I think the Houston Texans have showed that, yes, they do believe in Davis Mills. But before I go that, guys, we are doing the Houston Texans Science Helmet giveaway. Answer the question down below. It's who was the fourth guy to be drafted in the first round by the Houston Texans? Draft your Houston Texans knowledge down below. I'm gonna give you guys 4 points where I think the Houston Texans showed that they believe in the development and also in Davis Mills himself. Number 1 is you didn't hire Josh McCown, because that idea was damn near, well, it felt like a real possibility that a guy who had no experience whatsoever, no coordinator experience, a guy who just got out of the NFL, the possibility of Josh McCown running the Houston Texans, in my mind, it was very real, and it was absolutely scary. I thought it was a huge step back. I think you were doing Davis Mills absolutely no favor. I think if you hire Josh McCown, it kind of sends a message that we're not dedicated to winning. And that was just something that will go against everything that Nick Caserio said. And that didn't happen, right? They didn't sign Josh McCown to be the head coach. It was Lovie Smith. And not only that, you just completely, negate the idea of him being being the offensive coordinator. That was Pep Hamilton, the guy who was accredited with Andrew Luck and Justin Herbert. Now year 2 with Davis Mills. Super excited for Pep Hamilton and Davis Mills. This is your potential head coach, right? If it works. Can you see a scenario where Pep Hamilton is promoted to head coach and Lovie Smith just falls back to DC or gets, promoted to assistant head coach? That's where I see this could end with the Houston Texans, right? That's where I think it's good that they didn't hire someone like Josh McCown, right? Didn't even bring him on the staff. Like, there was even questions about, well, like, what about him being a quarterback's coach? Do you want that? I'm like, no, it kind of puts him as a coach in waiting. And that is not something that I want, weighing down in the back of the mind of Pep Hamilton and in the back of the mind of Davis Mills. Number 2 is Laremy Tunsil. And everyone, I myself included, even entertained the idea of trading Tunsil. I thought, listen, if you're going to get rid of Deshaun Watson, who has a big contract, you might as well get rid of Laremy Tunsil and take someone like a Evan Neal at number 3, who a lot of people expect to be a good left tackle in the NFL. But they didn't do that, right? Laremy Tunsil not only wanted to stay, but takes a pay cut and just said that he wants to be in Houston and that he's excited for the upcoming season. That was a second where, hey, the Houston Texans kept a guy who is a top 5 left tackle in the NFL. Another instance where I think, hey, they want to keep Davis Mills upright. We've seen Houston Texans quarterbacks without an offensive line. Number 3, right, another player who was talked about in trades, right, was Brandon Cooks. Trade Brandon Cooks in the offseason. He has 1 year left on his deal. Trade him to a contender. Get as max value as you can from him. And the Houston Texans not only did not do that, but they extended Brandon Cooks another 2 years, solidifying him here for the next 3. He's still only 28 years old. He's going to be around 30, 31 whenever you have to pay him again if you want to. You bring back Davis Mills as number 1 wide receiver, and you're doing all these things, right, as far as you're bringing in a head coach who has been to Super Bowls, who said it himself that I've seen good QBs, and that's what Davis Mills is, right? You bring someone who is accredited with developing 2 young, good QBs, right? If Andrew Luck is still playing in the NFL, he's a top QB right now. Justin Herbert, we all expect him to be a top 10, top 5 QB in the later future. You bring in a guy who's accredited with the development of them, Excited to see what Davis Mills is. You don't trade away his top 5 left tackle, right? You give him a pay cut. He's happy to be here. You retain his number 1 wide receiver in Brandon Cooks. And now you look into the draft, right? We talked about players like John Minchie, like Danny Gray, Jameson Williams. A lot of stuff that could be invested to this offense. Just solidifying that the Houston Texans believe in Davis Mills. But let me know what you guys think. As always, go Houston Texans. You guys have a blessed day.